normally don't speak on Xbox rumors. That's because honestly, the things that Xbox themselves promise do not often come to fruition or get delayed at best. And I'm not trying to be mean, but if you look at the trend from the past few years, that's what's been happening here. However, news of a new console is once again making the rounds. And once again, that noise is around a 2026 Xbox console. This time, however, we got a code name and quite possibly clarification if it's specifically a handheld or something else. What is it to believe? Well, let's talk about it here. Welcome, everybody. It's your boy, MM2K of Hard Knock Digital Culture, Cloud Dosage. MM2K Gaming back again with another episode of The Quick Dose. This is where, off the cuff, no script, I talk about the latest and greatest in the video game news. And boy, oh boy, do we have a good one for you today. Before we get into this one, do us a huge favor. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and rock those bells for notifications, please. And as a reminder, YouTube has done some quirky stuff for 2025. It can't just leave us alone and let us enjoy our content the way that we want to. It appears that they've taken the notification bell that a lot of you guys have and you've selected all. They've changed it to personalize, which relies on their algorithm, which isn't the best. So what you're going to want to do is, for this channel and for everything that you follow, make sure that you click that bell and make sure it says all. I got to do this myself. Unfortunately, YouTube has tried to get me into their algorithm for picking what I want to see. And that doesn't work because what it does is it only shows you certain things that its crap shot algorithm thinks you want to see, and you miss out on a lot of content that you would have enjoyed otherwise. So just real quick, make sure you do that so you don't miss out on anything great hitting this channel. All right, now let's talk about it, y'all. And in order for us to talk about it, here's what we need to do. We need to go to the story. And that story is right here. Let's do this. Let's make that bigger. Okay. So new rumor says Xbox next gen console is a 2026 and called Xbox Prime. All right. Let's check that story out. This is coming from Insider Gaming, and it says new rumor says Xbox's next gen console is a 2026 release and called Xbox Prime. The news comes from X, formerly Twitter account The Ghost of Hope, who has a history of posting primarily Call of Duty leaks. According to Hope, he says that he's heard the next Xbox console is still coming in 2026 and will be called Xbox Prime. He continues to say that it's unclear if its console name is the code name or not, and that Infinity Ward's Call of Duty, titled presumably Modern Warfare 4, will be a day one release. Hope later continues that the Xbox next gen release is pretty much an open secret within the industry. If the rumor proves to be true, it could suggest that we could be hearing more about the next console, the next generation Xbox sooner rather than later, possibly by the end of the year. As for whether the rumor is true, Hope has had a history of posting Call of Duty leaks and is known to have sources within Activision and Call of Duty development teams. And with the company now owned by Microsoft, it's entirely plausible that he's been given the information from a developer working on a next-gen Call of Duty 2026. As Hope points out, hopefully the rumor leads to others with knowledge of the console speaking out to other leakers or journalists to confirm or deny the rumors. As of September 2024, the Xbox Series S and X has sold 29.64 million units, half of the PlayStation 5's 60 million. What do you think of next generation Xbox console releasing in 2026? Do you think the next gen Xbox is called Xbox Prime? Yada, yada, yada. That is the story from Insider Gaming. And in addition to that, the Ghost of Hope added to that tweet that was referenced in that story. He says, to add on to this, I've already heard that the Xbox handheld is coming after this console in case anybody cares about that. Now, with that being said, now one of the troll accounts on Twitter, Jamie Zach, says, the source says it's kind of boring now, so let me make ish up and discuss it. And they got their post, another post from the Ghost of Hope that says, I usually do not post leaks. I don't corroborate, but with the state of Call of Duty and how boring everything is right now, why not? might generate discussion, and maybe someone will publicly corroborate or deny it. Laugh out loud. So, Moss, what do you think about this story? I can't put stock into anything from Xbox. I said this earlier in the bumper. Like, we were supposed to get an announcement. Remember when Sarah Bond said she kept referencing the biggest technological leap, you know what I mean, in Xbox history or something like that? And they will talk about it later in the year. December, I think they may be a reference. We're at the end of the year. We're in 2025 now. We've heard nothing. They haven't reclarified anything, right? Okay. This is either one of two things. This is either another control leak to go post-check engagement, because we've seen Xbox do this before. Our good friend Tim Dog has told us that that it was Xbox themselves that leaked the information about Indiana Jones and Starfield and the 4 games coming or whatever. They leaked that first to Shinobi on Twitter, so he can release it and gauge reaction to it, because they didn't want this to come out, and well, it did come out of nowhere when it was released, but they wanted to control leak it and control how they announced it. So there would be the leak, there would be the outrage, and then Xbox would come out and say, okay, now we're forced to do this this podcast, this business podcast, which was just more smoke and mirrors. So again, Xbox plays too many games in its messaging. They have ripped the scab off of them putting content elsewhere, but I feel like there's an internal strife there. There's like the Satya Nadella, Amy Hood, and I believe Sarah Bond side that believes that this is no big deal. Let everybody know that they're more of a publisher than anything, that just being direct to consumer, right? And then there's the other side that believes that the Xbox first party games should be used as battle tools to compete against PlayStation, Amazon, or whoever else is out there in the market, right? And it seems like that the latter side that is, controlled by Phil Spencer, they have lost. So because there's internal strife, I don't even know if Xbox has a solid direction that everybody's on the same page about. I have no idea. Again, this is either a controlled leak, kind of similar to what was given to Shinobi, or this is just a bunch of BS, right? Who knows? Complete trash. I couldn't tell you. But here's what I can tell you. Because everybody's like, yeah, we need more hardware. I can't wait till the Xbox comes out with hardware. It kind of is the Series X's problem because it was being bottlenecked. But I don't think that's going to reverse anything. Now you've gotten to the point to where in back-to-back generations, you've completely dissolved the competitive edge that you had. And this generation is even a bigger joke than last. And so you, the newbie, you're going to come up with a new piece of hardware and push the generation forward. Nintendo kind of got away with it, but they did something completely different. You're looking to do something different, but I don't know how many developers would follow, right? And if developers aren't going to follow, then this isn't going to be successful. But I don't even think new hardware should be out, particularly not 2026 for crying out loud. Here's what I think they need to do in order. First and foremost, you got to have an identity. Okay, so it's clear you don't want to do the traditional console, push your marketplace, have great exclusives to drive people to a singular platform for your games. You clearly don't want to do that. And that's fine. You want to do something completely different. Nintendo carved out its own lane with the handheld approach. You can carve out your own lane too and try to find success. But I think the best lane that Xbox can carve out is surrounding the cloud. You guys talk so much about the cloud. You were the biggest proponents of the cloud. And I feel like as far as what you've delivered, you've been the biggest disappointment in regards to the cloud versus how big your rhetoric was. I mean, I know Google Stadia died and, that's disappointing, but you look at other entities like, when they died, they gave you access to your games and gave you your money back so you can go to more competent services like a GeForce Now, right? And GeForce Now is leagues better, even with Xbox games, than Xbox is. And Xbox really isn't anywhere, I can't think off the top of my head, where GeForce Now isn't already. Like, it was just an announcement. They're coming to LG TVs. GeForce Now is already there, and it's going to be, again, leagues better than what it is, than what xCloud is. And for my Xbox games, my Xbox developed games, they play better on GeForce Now. I get it that Xbox is now allowing you to play certain purchase games, only 50 right now. And we don't know when that's going to extend. I can't, again, xCloud, they're on the right path that if you don't want to compete with PlayStation and you want to kind of be like direct to consumer and have your store, your third party store kind of like, be back burner to you being direct to consumer, they're on the right path focusing on cloud, but they're not all in the way that they need to be. You should be number one performant in the cloud. So before you do another piece of hardware, I mean, I get you working with other developers to maybe create something and let them license off, and you probably get more PC based, you know what I mean? Where you try to like up the ante of the Windows Store, you combine it with battle.net, and then, you have like a PC infrastructure that's labeled Xbox, and then you go from the console methodology and the console software to it's more PC based, right? And then you find some way to bring over for people to emulate their Xbox games on said hardware. I get that part, but for you to come out with another console, I hope that that's not in the cards here, because that would be silly. And I don't even think you need to do new hardware right now. I don't think new hardware should come out until 2028. I think you should do everything in your power for 2026 to be the year that your cloud platform is just as good as GeForce Now Ultimate, if not better. Because there's no point of this is Xbox. There is no point of it at all if people feel like gaming on these TVs and stuff or the Fire Sticks is a downgrade. This is not, I keep making this argument for people that don't understand, this is not music, this isn't TV, where quality isn't always job number one. You know what I'm saying? Like, people can listen to music that's not the best or watch TV that isn't 4K resolution and be okay with it. When it comes to games, people make $300 to $500 purchases to upgrade the visual output. Now, everybody may not want 4K 60. I'm not saying that, but the capabilities, the floors that are right now, you can't be lower than the current floors that are right now. Meaning, okay, Xbox Series S, I don't even want to use S. PlayStation 5 digital and Xbox Series X. Those are your floors right now. Those are your feasible floors right now. The Series S is a bottleneck. We check out our Wukong stories. Your cloud service should not be significantly lower than that. And if you aim for what NVIDIA GeForce Now is doing, it won't be. In a lot of regards, it'll be better. Because I'm gaming at 4K 100 on GeForce Now. I'm able to play Cyberpunk Overdrive mode on GeForce Now Ultimate, and I can't play it on the consoles like that. I can't even play that on a PlayStation 5 Pro, which I love, by the way. But still, that's where you need to go. So I think first and foremost, they need to focus on their cloud infrastructure. So if people do want to say, I don't need a console, they're getting something comparable to your best hardware tech, if not better. All right. Secondly, you got to invest in quality consumer driven AAA games. Now, granted, you're creating some buzz with games like Stalker, which is heavy in the PC area. That's why I said I'm not adverse to you working with, gamers. I mean, working with companies, on a handheld or some type of PC based thing, and you up your battle.net/Windows Store. I'm not against that. I just don't think that should be the main priority. I think the main priority has to be cloud. That being said, Stalker was a great third-party introduction, you know what I'm saying, into your third-party partnerships. I think it was great to get the game. A lot of people like the quality of the game. It's just it launched buggy, so you got to get better at that. Quality has to get a lot better. And then Indiana Jones is sparking a lot of conversation, but that's why I said I don't understand the hardware, because it's not driving people to Xbox. Indiana Jones and Stalker is not driving people to Xbox. Stalker is killing it on PC. Well, it's doing. Stalker did a great job on PC. Indiana Jones got a lot of acclaim, but when you look at data that's available and all of the murmurs behind the scenes, it doesn't seem like it did well. Stalker, for games like Stalker like that, you want the rollout to be better. And I really feel like that they've influenced this. I think that Xbox influenced this. You got to give those guys more time to through everything that they've been through. The rollout should have been better, for one. For two, Indiana Jones, man, it's a great nod to Indiana Jones fans. The story is great. The atmospherics are fantastic. Great gameplay is subpar. People look at it, they don't care about it. It's a shame. You got to do more. And hopefully with Avowed, South of Midnight, Fable, these games have gameplay elements that will pull people in and wow people when they see it. If it doesn't have that wow factor, you might as well forget it. So I think after focusing on cloud, carving out your lane and say, hey, look, cloud is going to be paramount here because we want you to be able to game from wherever you're at. Don't hardware still be in the picture, but we're going to get this cloud thing jumping at all full cylinders first. And then we're going to work on the quality of our games to make sure that they don't just look good, or we're not just getting nods from journos. Like we really need gamers to look at what we're putting out there and for them to go ape nuts and grab these games and play them and want to play them bad. And then they can go to their Fire TV. Oh, I can try Indiana Jones? Oh man, and I can do that on my Fire TV with my current controller? Then you'll start seeing things turn around. But it number one, that infrastructure where they're playing it at has to be superb. Doesn't have to. You can't feel like there's too many negative trade-offs, for one, and for two, it's gotta have that wow factor in the appearance. Thirdly, you gotta stop making empty promises. Like we were supposed to hear about the hardware. Like, when people get invested in your community, whatever, you gotta stop playing the switcheroonie, the kicking the can down the road. Like you gotta stand 10 toes down on business. You gotta do as you say. Stop making empty promises. I don't know if there's a change of leadership. I don't know if any of this is possible without a change of leadership. I don't know what it is, but you gotta stop making empty promises, right? So with that said, here's my closing. I'm gonna be honest with you. Me personally, I don't believe this news story, because I don't even think Xbox even knows their path forward. This might be a controlled leak where they're trying to test things out. I don't know. I think Xbox is best suited picking their lane, like I said, and I think cloud is it. You know what I mean? Cloud is it. And then you have hardware as a supplement for those that, cannot obtain, or cloud is not a great option. There are some that, don't have. There are some that are like in the Midwest in the US that don't have good internet infrastructure. You don't need superb. That's overstated. Takes back into 2020, all you needed was 15 megabytes of internet usage in order to get a decent game in cloud gaming. You know, we're 4 years past that. The technology is severely enhanced since then. So you don't need superb internet in order to enjoy cloud gaming. But there are some people that don't even have decent internet. So for those, you know, you have hardware alternatives for them. But for everybody else, the mounds of people that are playing Fortnite, regardless of internet infrastructure, the mounds of people that are playing, you know, Fortnite and Roblox and all these other games online, you know, you take advantage of the cloud, and you got to have better cloud performance. Once you do that, you can become a monster for direct to consumer first party games, right? And then, you know, I don't know how competitive you're going to be like a PlayStation when it comes to selling third party games. I feel like PlayStation got that locked, you know, PlayStation and Steam. But you could have some Leviathan games like the Roblox, like I said, Apex Legends. And maybe what you could do is, you know, if people are signing up for Game Pass to get access to the cloud, give them some perks, give them some points. Like, instead of trying to get third-party games in Game Pass, I think you'd be better off investing in, hey, if you have Game Pass and you play these games, these Leviathan games with us, we're going to give you these perks. We're going to give you these points that go towards your game every month, right? That's what I think you guys should do. And if they can do all that and then they get the store together, then they can see success in those Leviathan third-party games. But only time will tell. Time will tell if they get any better in their execution for whatever they want to do. Because despite what I think, what it is that they want to do, whatever they slow leak, if they still have an execution problem, none of this even matters. And that's it from your boy. Let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below, because like I always say, here's what I think. But if you did like what I had to say, check out the links below to follow me. They will lead you to Hard Knock Digital Culture, Cloud Dosage, MM2K Gaming. With that said, peace. Have a wonderful gaming day.